Tree Talking Time is brought to you by Conkey's Outdoors. Get all your hound hunting needs at conkeys.com. Welcome to Tree Talking Time, where we talk all things tree dogs, from the smallest feists to the largest hounds, treating squirrels to bears and everything in between. And from time to time, we might even run a little fast game. Need reliable housing for your animals? Animal Housing Solutions in Mayo, Florida builds custom coops, kennels, and shelters that are strong, durable, and designed with your animal's comfort in mind. Whether you need a large-scale kennel or a small custom chicken coop, they've got you covered. Quality craftsmanship, great service, and solutions built to last. That's the Animal Housing Solution promise. Check them out at Animal Housing Solutions on Facebook. Animal Housing Solutions, where your animals come first. Your dogs deserve the very best, and that's exactly what Elite Nutrition Canine Products delivers. Packed with premium ingredients and backed by science, their formulas are designed to boost energy, support joint health, and keep coats shiny and strong. Whether you've got a working dog, a hunting partner, or just a loyal best friend, Elite Nutrition gives them the fuel they need to thrive. Don't settle for ordinary. Choose the nutrition your dog deserves. Find Elite Nutrition Canine Products today and give your dog the Elite Edge. Go to shopeliteglobal.com and use the code TREE10 on your next purchase.
So last year, you went out to Andrews. It was just the two of you, right?
Yeah, it was just me and Andrew.
Yeah. So then, how in the world did it grow to me and Steve now?
Well, we was out there last year when I got Andrew called me, and we'd actually talked at Leopard Days, 2023, and we talked about it, and about making that trip. And I said, well, when somebody calls for a coon hunting trip, you're sort of like, well, you don't want to impose on someone.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, you don't really know them, but you become family. But we talked about it, we planned it out, and Andrew said, "Hey, come on out, let's make this happen." So we played around with some dates, and it just didn't work out the first trip. So when he contacted me again, we made it out last year. So I had Little Jewel, and I had actually had Halo for 6 days.
Okay.
When I went out, and the first night we took Halo and the tree in Tennessee and Brindle. Rebel. Yeah. Lost his name up for a second. Yeah, he had Rebel. So we went out, and man, we treed Rebel treed several coon that night, and Halo would actually treed 3 by himself, split treed, and had some coons. And I was just like, okay, we want to put him up and not hunt him no more. I mean, he had never been hunted, and so we just put him up, and we went back and got Little Jewel, and man, she treated all kinds of things. I mean, she was just doing such a great job, and we talked about it, and I told Andrew, I said, man, this is where she needs to be at, trees, coons, and he said, well, in the springtime we'll get together and just bring her back out, and that's what I done, and we got hooked up that spring and met up, and he took Little Jewel out, and he was going to hunt her that summer and get her ready for some hunts.
Yeah.
And so he did, and but we talked about making this trip again. And so Steve, he told me, he's like, he said, man, if I can just get off from work, he said, I want to try to make it. I said, well, you need to. I said, every one of us needs to get together so we can make this trip. Well, we talked to you at Leopard Days this year. And I was like, come on, man, it'd be awesome. I mean, and it's a great, when you're around a great group of guys, I have competition hunted for the past really 9 years, and, yes, I've won hunts. Yes, I've done all that stuff and everything, but man, there is nothing like these coon camps. There's nothing like getting, oh man, I'm telling you, you go out to have a good time.
Exactly.
You know? And I will cherish this the rest of my life. I mean, like that trip was over with that we just went through. I mean, and now I'm thinking about it for next year.
Yeah, I think we all are.
So what was your experience like? I mean, what did you think about it?
Oh, it was great. I mean, I absolutely loved it. I've historically went to Ohio and hunted with my buddy Mike, and unfortunately his health's just not great. And so, Andrew invited me out, and I was going to try and stop there, but it just didn't work out. And so, came on out, and man, we just had a great time.
Right.
I love me and you talked a lot about it. We come from areas where the coon population's not amazing. You can tree coon, but you don't go out there and tree 20 in a night.
No.
But you go out to Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, some of these Midwest states that have a lot of crop ground and a lot of, and not even big woods, little patch woods and tree lines and it's like they're just loaded with coon.
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, you've got big hardwoods that
you
can probably find a couple.
I've got miles and miles of timber, and people just don't I mean, Andrew and Steve came out this summer. I took them on a round trip, like a 30-mile round trip. They couldn't believe the territory. Mm-hmm. And squirrels, we have all kinds of squirrels, and bear like crazy.
Yeah.
If the coons does not have a food source, if you're not around somewhere or close to town, I mean, you might hunt 2 or 3 hours to never strike a coon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really crazy. Don't understand it. I can't comprehend it because there's not a lot of coon hunters anymore up here in this country, mainly bear hunters.
Yep.
But the squirrels today, if I didn't see 500 squirrels, I didn't see one. I mean, they was running everywhere. So I was like, oh my God. The heart of deer season is in. So, right now, rifle season, we've got actually 4 weeks of rifle season. So that's put a damper on really everything.
Yeah.
And,
of course it does.
So, yeah. And I respect the deer hunters. Mm-hmm. But these dogs does not bother.
Oh yeah,
deer. I mean,
we all know that.
We all know that, and I have actually built a relationship with the landowners that I hunt on the farms and stuff, and I'm like, hey, if you don't want me to be here, I will not be here. But most of them just a free invitation. They understand.
Yeah.
There's this one gentleman that I hunt on his property. He likes it when I coon hunt his area during deer season because he said you're in the woods, you're making noise, and it does keep the deer sort of moving, And I said, well, I know you don't have to worry about mine running your deer. I said, human scent might be in the woods. He said, I told him, I said, but you don't have to worry about my dog's running deer. He said, well, I understand that. He said, you got coon dogs. He said, if you had deer dogs, it'd be a different story.
Yeah.
But it's great to have a relationship with all of these deer hunters. If we could all come together as one and unite, we all got a love for our sport.
Yep.
And it's dying. It is really sad. I believe that we can't get the younger. I know you got some young boys, and Andrew's got some young kids. And my son, he's 17. Never been hunting one day in his life. And he just completed his hunter's education
That's awesome.
yesterday. Yeah, he just finished it. So hopefully, experience his first hunt, and I want this tradition to keep it going on. And it's up to us, as hunters, to keep the next generation coming on.
Yep. No, for sure. And
yes.
I think we talked a lot about that, and we took Andrew's son along, for a couple nights of coon hunting because had some extra help. So,
oh yeah.
Which I know with little kids, it is a challenge to coon hunt with young children.
Oh yeah.
I know that from personal experience. So when we hunted this weekend, it was I know it helped Andrew having some extra help out there. The trees that are a little too thick to get into, he can stay out on the edge in the side by side with somebody. So,
right, yeah. The first night before y'all, well, on Thursday night this year, we took his sister-in-law's little boy.
Yeah,
and he is sick, and I helped him, and it was his first time ever in the woods. He had never been coon. Yeah, he had never been coon hunting.
Mm-hmm.
And what was really funny, I'll tell this funny story. Was out there sitting. As soon as I made it out to Andrews, Reed was outside with two ducks. And man, he was carrying them ducks around, walk around. It was so cute. And,
mind you, dead ducks.
Yeah, they was dead ducks. Yes, they was dead ducks. And Lincoln, he said, "Where'd you get them ducks at?" I said, "The dollar store." I mean, I just quit thinking on that one, and it was so funny. He went to the dollar store. He didn't even know. He had never touched an animal before like that in his life, and he was carrying them around and just breaking the ice.
Too funny.
But yeah, man, it's a great hunt.
Yeah,
it's if you've got a dog that is you needing some coons. I've always liked these trips. I've made it to I've been to Illinois before. It's been a few years ago, but I've been to Illinois before, and from Illinois, I went out east and hunted in East Virginia. I made a couple trips out there, and I went to Arkansas, and I went to Michigan, I went to Iowa, and it's been some of the coon hunting trips that I've been on the coon camps, in the past. A lot of guys, some guys doesn't enjoy it, and some guys do. And, some guys like going to saving their vacation and stuff for hunts. Yep. And I understand. But to me, this right here is just, this is a tradition that I don't never want to lose. I don't ever want to quit doing it. I hope I can do this when I'm Dave. I call him Pops. Dave Bray's age. I hope I can still do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a passion. You get close. I mean, when you're out there with your brothers and you're doing this coon hunting, I mean, you really get close.
Yeah.
And it ain't. We're out here doing this. We're not trying to act like any of us has a better dog. Then it's not about that. If your dog's treed, I'm walking your dog's treed. If I hear him treed, you know what I'm saying? Or my dog's treed. If my dog is treed after yours is treed, then I'm going to go on to mine because mine's just running the track.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to go to your dog, and that's the fun part about it. Just being together, but we didn't get to be together as much as I wanted to. Some dogs just kept on going opposite directions, but that's all right. But that's part of it, and plus you got the opportunity to work on a dog. If you need a dog to recut when another dog's treed or just move on. You can take advantage of every situation that you're in.
For sure. No, and dogs coming into him, backing him,
right.
That kind of thing. He got to experience a lot that he doesn't get to experience at home when you're hunting just by yourself.
Yes. And I love it. And I was like we talked about, I said, I don't care if we dump everything, because a dog needs to be, it needs to be put in all scenarios and different situations. But pleasure hunting, I like I said, I love hunting. I just don't hunt just a couple months out of the year.
Yeah.
Really, as soon as the weather breaks, like our winters sometimes can get pretty rough, or sometimes I've seen us have just mild winters and get to hunt straight through. But I hunt at least 5, sometimes I get to go 6 nights a week. Most time I hunt every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You know, all year long. Unless it's like a real bad storm, raining real bad or something, I try to stay in the woods. But that's been the most successful thing I've seen with all dogs. It really doesn't matter the breed. I think if you put the time into them, they either got it or they don't.
Yep.
And when I've been pulling these dogs, man, these leopards, I've had them going on 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
They are a special dog. They're special in different ways, you know.
Yeah.
And you can't. You got to learn, like hunting them. I mean, I told this one guy, I said, you just about need a dictionary. Directions. Something. You need a guy to sit down with you, talk you through, because you can't handle them like you can the other hounds.
Oh, no, not at all.
I mean, it's you got to be careful about how you operate with one. But some of them seems to be a little harder than others. That can withstand some correction.
Yep. There's a lot of variety in the breed.
There's a big variety. I mean, I told this guy, it's like a box of chocolates. You just don't never know what you're going to get.
Yep. No, Bandy quoted you, and actually that's what I titled that episode. He quoted you in that episode.
Yeah.
And that's what I titled it.
I remember that now, like a box of chocolates. So, I mean, and it is the truth. I've seen them in a litter of pups. I've seen, I've never seen just like multiple ones be identical. Like this, let's just say this right here, like this cross that Halo's from. If I'm not mistaken, there's 5, might be even be 6. I know one of them has never been hunted, but I know there's 5 of them that has been hunted, and all 5 of them that has been hunted is like really doing great. I mean, they're doing great.
Yeah.
And I got a phone call yesterday from Mike, and he was telling me about one of the gentlemen that has a littermate sister to Halo, and he said that man, he called Mike, and Mike had to relay the story. He said this dog just put it on all my old dogs 3 nights in a row. Man, they're so excited. I think he's like 78 years old, and the other guy's in his 80s, and they're still out there doing it.
That's awesome.
That is awesome, man. And,
I hope I'm still out there doing it when I'm that old.
Yes, sir. Me too, brother. I hope I am too. It's a passion. You got to really love it. I mean, to keep doing it. You really do. My hunting, the guy that hunts with me, he's 87 years old, and he is only we have hunted together roughly 9 years, and he's only been to 2 trees in 9 years. And they was really close that I could get him to that tree.
Yeah.
And you ought to just seen him. It was just like, it was just like Christmas, and he was at that tree just loving on that dog, just petting on him. I think I've got a couple videos of him at that tree, and just a passion. He told me the other night, he said, well, you get me some videos. I said, I'll have you a video. I said, this man. And he said, I want to hear them dogs. I said, well, you can hear them. And he loves it. He'll watch them videos over and over. He might not go to the tree, but he loves to go listen.
Yep.
And he all the time, if I go by myself, he says, you got anybody going with you? Are you telling someone where you're going so they'll know if something happens? He worries about me.
Yeah.
And that's good. You have someone that cares about you.
For sure.
But it's a passion. I don't really have no one. I've got a few guys that I hunt with occasionally, but I'm sort of I guess I'm like a cur dog. I'm sort of a loner. I like being by
quirky?
myself. A little quirky. I'm a little quirky too. I like doing my own thing, and I guess I've seen a lot of other people. They're the same way. I just don't go. Well, when I am pleasure hunting, I'm working on a dog. I'm trying to evaluate and work every situation. And trying to make that dog better.
Yep.
And there's just one guy I hunt with him, and he always told me, he said, and it's hard to do. It's really hard. He told me, he said, I hate ending on a bad note. He said, I hate just stopping after a dog has done something it shouldn't done and then going back home.
Yeah.
Work through it. He said, I've been out there hunted all night long just to get that dog to end on a good note. And that's dedication.
For sure. That's a lot of extra work.
Oh man, it is. It's hard work. To have a top tier hound of any breed, it's hard work. Mm-hmm. These guys that are doing it today, I mean, they're giving it all they got. I mean, they're putting the time into to have what they have.
Yep, for sure.
And I think if all breeds, to find that the quality hound, you have to put the time in, and you got to be willing to make sacrifices. And that was like me. I would have never thought that I would be where I'm at today. With the leopard dogs that I have. Mm-hmm. I had a plan. I thought I had it all figured out. But
you thought you did.
A whole different path, and it's been pretty enjoyable,
Mm-hmm.
So we just got to be like we was talking a few minutes ago, a willing vessel. You just you get these phone calls and you try these things, and I've had a lot of phone calls over dogs, and 90% of the time they don't pan out.
Yeah.
The way you're hoping that they will, and there's a lot of heartache, there's a lot of sadness, there's enjoyment,
yeah,
and but it's what you make it.
Exactly.
It's basically like a marriage, Oh.
Well, Jason, why don't you introduce yourself, and then I want to hear a little bit more about how you got into all these dogs, because while I know your story pretty well, I know my listeners probably don't. So,
all right. Well, I'm Jason Keene. I'm from Richlands, Virginia. I'm 41 years old. I'm married, got a wife and one son, Jessica Keene and Corbin Keene. I'm a blessed man. Got a great wife that puts up with me out chasing these dogs night after night. I mean, she's got to be a good woman to put up with me.
Yeah.
And I love her. I'll say that because she'll listen to this, but she knows I love her, and I appreciate her. Not trying. She encourages me doing this, and I'm very thankful and grateful. My son, he's been a blessing. He has never gave me 1 ounce of trouble. I couldn't be blessed blessed beyond measures, and I'm so proud of him. I've lived in this area all my life. I've not moved. Yeah, my whole life. And my grandfather, he took me coon hunting at a very young age. Started out with Walker hounds. That's what we had. And I tried, growing up, he would try a few different breeds. I've hunted with some plots and some red bones and black and tans, and had a real good blue tick when I was about 10 or 11 years old. And a gentleman named Freddie Rice, he took me coon hunting one night. I was still in school. He come by the house and he picked me up. I didn't have a driving license at the time, and we went out hunting with some mountain curs. There's actually a Kemmer stock mountain curs.
Okay.
And that was really the first cur dog I ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And we took a little trip, and we went to his cabin, and over in Rural Retreat, Virginia, and we just road hunted, the dogs, and dogs just went out in front of the truck, and we drove behind them, and man, we treed like 3 or 4 coons that weekend, and treed some possums, but he shot shot the coons out and the possums,
Yeah.
Just out coon hunting, just out hunting, enjoying life. And man, I come back home. He gave me some Full Cry magazines. I had never seen Full Cry before, and I started reading them articles. And I got intrigued with the cur dogs, and I told my dad, I said, I am going to have to try me a cur dog. He said, you just need to stick to 10 pounds. Like I said, I've walked to enough slick trees. I said, I went coon hunting this weekend, and I looked at more coons than I've looked at all year.
Yep.
And so Freddie told me he was going to have a litter of pups, and I tried that pup, and I was young. I was too young for a pup. And I wasn't ready to start that pup. I mean, I just wasn't able. And I ended up giving that pup away, and a year or so went by, and he called me. I started driving. I actually had my first job. I was working at Burger King, and he called me, and he said, "I've got a young dog down here." He said, "You need to come get him and try him out." I said, "Well, I'll come and do it. If you think I need to get him." He said, "You try him and you see what you think about it." I had that dog for over a month. We'd had a lot of snow, and I took that dog hunting the first day I ever took him hunting. I took him squirrel hunting, and he treated 3 fox squirrels that day, and he would timber them squirrels. And man, I'm telling you, I couldn't believe it. I shot them squirrels out to him and come back home, and I called him. I said, "I'll have your money this week." He said, "So you took him hunting?" I said, "Yes, sir." I said, "I'll have your money this week." And that was the bet. I paid him $300 for that dog. And his name was Sam. He was about a 55, maybe 60-pound Kemmer dog.
Mm-hmm.
And man, he was nice. He didn't have the long ear though. He was more of a shorter cropped ear. It wasn't real long.
Yeah.
And big flat head. You could lay a pie plate on top of his head. To me, that's the prettiest cur dog you can ever see. I just love a big flat headed cur dog. And I hunted him till about 04. I got married in December, and I hunted him up till I got married. And he was just sitting out there in the kennel and wasn't getting hunted. And a guy come along, it was my uncle actually, and he wanted to buy him. And I said, "I'll think about it." And he called me the next day. I said, "Well, just come on over and get him."
Mm-hmm.
So I sold him Sam. Well, I was out of films completely. I just called it quit, and I got into fishing for several years, and and then after that, that's when I got into the bluegrass music. Started the bluegrass group and started playing and singing, and a friend of mine started working with me. His name was Brody Dean, and he begged me to go coon hunting. I said, "Brody," I said, "I'm not doing that. I don't have time." I said, I've got all these other things going on in my life. And I said, "I don't need to get back involved with that."
Yeah.
He said, please go with me." So I went, and we took a trip, and it was on Halloween night. I'll never forget it. And we went up to his grandmother's house, turned old dogs loose. And his old rock dog got in there and got treed. And Lord, when I heard that dog tree, it just threw me in. We got back to the truck. I said, well, I'm going to look for a dog.
You got bit.
Oh, it was like throwing gasoline on a fire. But see, as I got older, you know, my passions for everything had changed. You know, as a kid, it was that we only hunted during hunting season.
Yep.
You know, and we never hunted in the summertime. We just hunted during the fall year. So I was like, once I tasted all of this, it was a different story. So Monday morning, I went and I bought a bargain find. I didn't have Facebook or nothing like that. I just started looking. I started scrolling. I looked and looked, and I finally found a couple cur dogs. So I went and bought them, and they was young, but needless to say, they weren't from nothing of any good blood. Let's just put it like that. They was just dogs, and they didn't have no ability at all. So I was out, and I was over there. I would go to Chilhowie in Virginia and play bluegrass on Monday nights. And I was sitting in there and talking to the man that run the place. His name is Larry. I said, boy, I'm trying my best to find me a good cur dog. I said, I've called everybody. I've looked. I just can't find nothing. He said, a cur dog? He said, I've got one. I said, do what? He said, I've got a good one. Now, when most people tell you they've got something that's good, I'm like old Thomas in the Bible. Sometimes old Doubting Thomas, I got to touch the.
You got to see it.
Yeah, old Doubting Thomas. I doubt him. I said, well, listen. He said, he's sitting in this barn, and he said, he just loves to go hunt. Well, I said, if it don't suit me, can I bring you back? Yeah, you can bring me back. I said, all right. Well, he said, I'll have him next Monday night. Well, I drove over there at next Monday night and picked him up, brought him back home. Well, Tuesday night, I had a farm that I used to hunt, like, back in early 2000s, 2002, 2003. I had a farm that I used to hunt. So I go to that farm. I contact the owners and say, hey, I've started back coon hunting, and I want to make sure it's good that I can go out and hunt. Oh, Lord, yeah, just go ahead and hunt all you want. First night I took that dog over there, turned him loose. That dog, his name was Buck. He went out through there and he treed a couple coons, and man, I said, my goodness, I've done hit the mother load. I've got a good one.
Yep.
And I hunted him that whole season. Treed a lot of coon. But he had he had age on him. He just wasn't a young dog,
Yeah.
He had some age on him. So I called the guy back and I told him, I said, hey, until I can find me a dog, if it's all right if I can keep him, but I said, as soon as I find something, I'll bring you back. And he said, well, that'd be fine. Well, a friend of mine, he contacted me, and he had a little old Walker dog, but he wasn't registered. He was just I believe he had some English in him too, but he was ticked up a lot.
Okay.
And I hunted that little old dog for a few months and treed several coons with him. And I was down there striper fishing down in Tennessee, and a friend of mine, he called me, and I've been talking to some different guys about different types of cur dogs, and I remembered as a kid, I got ahead of my story there. I remembered as a kid that when I was looking at the Full Cry magazine, and I would see the Leopard Curs, I would see different pictures, and I can remember, the picture of Nimrod,
yep.
In the magazine. And, I was always intrigued with that dog, seeing it as a young age, but, I never seen one in this country before in my life.
Yeah.
Just had never heard of them, And a guy I know, he said, hey, you looking for a cur? He said, you need to try one of them Leopard Curs. And I said, I said, I might. He said, well, I just seen one on Facebook today. He said, you need to call that guy. He said, he's a big old dog. He said, he's treated. He said, see if he'll sell him. Well, I called old Eric Puzzle down there in Georgia, and he was telling me about that dog he had. He said, man, he said, listen, if anybody's ever discouraged someone of buying a dog, he was the man to discourage someone. He 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 said he'll eat you out of house and home. He's hard to keep. I mean, kind of stuff. You don't want him. He said, I understand you don't want him. I was like, well, man, there's something inside of me said you need to get that dog.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay. I told my dad, he's going to fish. Like I said, hey, I'm going to see what's the least he'll take for that dog. And I gave him a price. And me and him, we worked out a deal. And we cut our fishing trip real short. And I made a trip to Georgia. I went down there, picked him up, brought him back home. And I'm telling you, me and that dog, we worked our butts off. I'm talking about he was 17 months old. And I mean, we worked our tails off to make a dog out of him. And I hunted and hunted. I mean, I was hunting 7 nights a week. And I made a dog out of him.
I'd say you did.
It was the only thing that I regret. And there again, I was still a pleasure hunter. I didn't even know anything about competition hunting. Never been to one in my life. I know absolutely nothing. I was making a dog to go tree coons.
Exactly.
That's what I was making. I was making a coon dog, and that's what I did. But I'd done some training with him that I regretted. Just some training errors that I made, and I don't do them today. I do things a lot different. But I'll say this: that old dog, I needed him at a time in my life, and he helped me through a lot of different situations, and we treed several coons, and I mean, I'm talking about some memories.
Sure.
Hey, I'll tell you something. Today I drove by the tree that he treated his first coon in.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. I drove by that tree today. I looked at it. I said, that's a memory. I'll never forget it. And it was pretty awesome seeing him treat his first coon. And I love him, and I'm thankful that I let John Carlack. He's Moose is 10 years old. He's going on 11. And I called John up. I said, John, I would like for Moose to come out there and live out his life with you, and you get to enjoy him hunting when you can. And I said, when he passes, I want him to be buried beside his dad,
Yeah.
I thought that would be special,
Yep.
And that's just what I felt. I just felt it. When I feel like things need to happen like that, that's just how I do it. And hunting moose, his career could have been a lot better. But I'm a young dog man. I love putting the time in a young dog. I like hunting a young dog. Let's get them right, get them ready for hunt, and then either I push them and finish them out, and then I always have me a young dog coming back. Ready for. I always have something to start, because I'll tell you what, if you don't have a young dog ready to come on, what if something happens to your old dog?
Yep, 100%.
You're out. And I could have hunted that dog from, kept on hunting. What would I have today? I would just have a 10-year-old dog. I made a lot. I made thousands of memories after memories. But you got to keep that young dog coming on.
Yep.
And that's me. I like keeping the young dogs coming on, and I like a young dog, because see, where I live at, thin coons, but I am blessed with some pretty good farms to hunt. And I can take a summer, so get a young dog up to, say, 11, 12 months old. And then when it rolls around for its really first spring and summer, then fall, that's usually when I finish one out.
Mm-hmm.
I put that whole summer on it. And man, I'm telling you, you can make a dog if it's got the ability. So if you have that one young dog, now I really like focusing on one young dog a year.
Yep.
But it would really be better if you had two, because I thought about this the other day, which I have two for next year. But so if you just had one, what if something happened?
Oh yeah.
What if then you're waiting another 7 or 8 months? If you found a pup, you got to wait till it gets old enough to start again. Another one to start. Then it's a cycle. It is a cycle, and so a man has to stay focused at what he's wanting to do and accomplish in a breeding program.
Yeah.
But the leopards, I had several. I hunted several different leopards. I hunted. In the past 10 years, a lot of sons and daughters out of moose that I was very impressed with. Some was better than others, and there was some special ones. And I was very grateful to have the opportunity to train some of them and finish some of them out. I think I put a title on 7 of them. I
Nice.
think.
I didn't realize there was that many.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's how many there are. I might be wrong, might be one off or something. But there's another one that it just likes a few wins, and I think she just needs maybe one or two more wins, and she'll be a night champion or a grand night. I can't remember what he was, a night champion is what it was. And but she hadn't been hunted. That buddy of mine, he quit hunting,
mm-hmm.
and so she's just sitting in the kennel, and she's a real nice dog, real good tree dog, and I went through a phase. You have uphill. Let's see here. You have mountaintop experiences.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have halfway down the mountain, then you'll have valley experiences.
Yep.
And you'll feel like you're in this deep hole that you can't climb out sometimes. And I don't know if you've ever been there before, but I was there. I was at a place where I really felt like there was nowhere for me to go.
Conkey's Outdoors is proud to be a sponsor of Tree Talking Time. Family, hunting, tradition is the Conkey's motto. They understand the importance of passing down the tradition of hound hunting. They are a family-owned business that treats you like family. They also understand the importance of having the gear you need when you need it. Conkey's carries everything for your next hunt, and it ships to your door quick. They also offer great warranties on all tracking systems and financing options. Check them out at conkeys.com. You can also use the code TreeTalkingTime5 in all caps to save as well.
I really got burned out, I guess. And a friend of mine, he called me up, and he had some dogs he wanted hunted, some walker dogs. And I was like, I don't know. I'll think about it. And I thought about it a little bit, and I was like, well, shoot, why not give it a try,
Mm-hmm.
and see what I can do. Well, I hunted a couple of them. Actually finished one out, and from ground floor, started him and finished him. And he was as nice of a hound as I've ever hunted. I mean, just a nice hound. But when I got done with him, I realized he was no better than the leopards that I had.
Okay.
I mean, and he was out of top tier blood. I'm talking about the best in the business. Okay, his mother was out of Willie, and
gotcha.
and his top side was wipeout.
Okay,
and
that's good stuff.
And it is. And I'm just going to tell you this right here. If I didn't have the dogs that I have right now, I'd be hunting one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're coon trees. I mean, they got the eyeballs when you walk in there.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the best some of the best. I mean, I'm not saying this in bragging, but the daddy of the dog that I had was Wipeout Edge,
Okay.
and hey, everything he had ever been bred to, he would produce Coon Terriers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Coon Terriers, and they're winners too. I mean, they're good dogs. I mean, I'm a firm believer in them, and so I mean, they're good dogs. But this is the thing, you know, as a handler, or let's say you're taught like this as a dog trainer. I hunted them dogs, and I hunted them dogs the same way that I hunted my leopard. And at the end of the day, I realized, I said, hey, I said, you know, I did learn a few extra tricks along the way when I did go to the walkers. I done some things different. So let's talk about this here with the leopards. Say if a leopard, this is how smart they are. They're very intelligent. Like, I think they're human smart. Yes, if you let them by, like, say for instance, if you cut a leopard loose. Now this is where I learned during this process of time and training. So if you cut a leopard loose and you send it down a hill, because we have a lot of hills, or let's say if you're cutting a dog loose down a hill, and that dog, and you got it by itself, and it comes back to you, send it again. If it comes back to you the second time, send it again. If it is ever allowed to go to the truck after you've sent that dog multiple times, let's just say if you made it 3 times, 4 times, you send that dog down that hill until it goes. But if you allow it to come back, and it's okay for you to come back and say stay at the truck or stay at your feet or whatever, if you allow it, they program it in their brain. That's how smart they are. Mm-hmm. They will program it. They know, hey, I can get by with it. It's okay. He ain't going to do nothing about it. He's just going to put me in the truck, and we're going to drive down the road, and we're going to do this thing again. You know. Yep. So you have to be smarter. You got to be smarter than the dog that you're hunting. You know, that you're working with. So, in my opinion, with cur dogs, man, that's basically what, you know, we are calling leopard hounds now, but they're curs.
Yeah.
You know, plain and simple.
Mentally they are.
Mentally, they are curs. And I believe with this breed, sky is the limit, but it takes men working together. It takes honesty. You know, it takes honesty. And it takes, to build this breed, you're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to, might have to do some things you don't want to do and make some decisions you don't want to do. But I believe if you're ever going to be successful, you're going to have to work hard. I heard a guy making a statement, you got to fight like you're the third monkey trying to get on Noah's Ark. You know, it's that kind of situation that we get into. So, you know, I've had so many ups and downs, I don't even know sometimes. But, you know, finding quality females, it's like the mother to Halo, Kate. Who would ever thought that female would be such a powerful reproducer? I've yet to ever see anything close to that. You know, with making three litters of pups out of 3 different males, and every one of the pups running tree. Mm-hmm. You know,
yeah.
To me, that was pretty. It's pretty impressive.
Oh, for
you
sure.
know, very impressive. And you know, I've studied with these. I've been around enough. I mean, the best success that I had in breeding, I only one cross that produced. There was 5 pups. That was quality. I would consider quality. I was lucky to get 1 or 2 pups out of the cross. Out of 149 pups, you know, that's a lot of pups.
Yeah.
So some of them, you know, let's put it like this: the ones that I hunted, they didn't suit me. But let's say someone in Illinois or Ohio or Michigan or Iowa, somewhere where there's a heavier coon population, they might have would have worked for them.
Mm-hmm.
Which I understand that now, but it just didn't work for me.
Exactly.
And it didn't work for me, so I'm going to have to stick with the dogs that's got that little extra, that's got that little bit more to give, so I can use it here. And that because our area, sometimes a dog might have to go 1,000 yards, or it might have to go 500 yards, but mainly 1,000 yards. I mean, in some areas, before you even strike a coon, I'll tell you this, the Willie dog, the Walker dog, there's one area, he went 2 miles. Now, one creek. Now, we was hunting up a creek. He went 2.5 miles before he got struck on a coon.
Jeez.
Hey, it was the worst place I've ever hunted in my life. I joined this hunting club. These guys told me, they said, hey, we come over here, you'll be the only coon hunter. You'll tree all kinds of coons. I hunted over the first 3 weeks of season, and I treed 3 coons. And I hunted over like 4 or 5 nights a week, and I told myself, I've got a coon dog for you.
Yep.
I said, he can tree coons, and I said, I'm telling you, there ain't no coons in these mountains. I said, I'm out. Don't bother. I said, I won't be taking a permit back next year. I said, y'all just find somebody else that wants it. So you just have to you got to have a dog that'll go hunting. But, that's miserable. There's no enjoyment in that.
Yep.
It makes you, I tell you what it'll do, it'll make you second guess your dog. You'll say, well, my dogs don't count, but
Sure.
you can't tree them if they're not there.
Exactly.
And it takes a lot of work. And like you're just talking about, hey, if all I had was little patch woods, like the area that, like say for instance, the places that you have to hunt, I would want a dog to operate the way you want one to operate. Just go out there, circle, loop it, check it, and be really tone broke if it's getting close to someone's house. Bring him back.
Yep.
I mean, and you got to have one that's got enough heart that will go and that'll hunt wherever you want it at. And then say, okay, buddy, just come on back. We'll go somewhere else. And you know what? I know you would love to have a place in the area that you could let a dog go hunting.
Yeah, 100%.
You gotta get it to work for you. It's gotta operate. And see, I can't. Then when if you brought your dogs up here, and you be disappointed, but you could be disappointed, but that ain't your dog's fault.
Yep.
It's just what he had to be trained for, And I don't ever judge a man. I'll put this out there. Like, let's just say Steve's Bama dog. He's a top-notch dog.
Yeah.
Seen that dog tree a lot of coons. I mean, he is a coon treer. He was trained 300 yards, at a certain distance, check back in. Just walk along behind him, shoot tree coons, and that's just the way the dog was trained. And he operates really well. I mean, he's got a really good handle. And but that's the way the dog was trained. And actually, if I lived out there, I would not want no dog to just keep blowing through the country. I would want a dog to operate the way that dog operated. I mean, He operates. He does this perfectly fine for where he lives.
Exactly.
But that's the way you got to look at it. And so for my situation, I'm going to probably where I live at, I'm going to have a dog that goes hunt and that gets in there and gets the job done. But, I like knowing if dogs has got natural drive, natural ability to go, knowing that in the breeding program. Just say, hey, I toned this dog back and got him back where he would hunt a little closer. But when he was a pup, hey, this dog would just bust in there just like a rocket.
Yeah.
So I judge dogs as puppies. Just like Collie, 4.5 months old, something like that. First squirrel she treed, 4 months old. Hey, I'm just like, my goodness, I've never seen a more natural tree-minded dog in my whole entire life. This from the top. And she's like that today, just a natural tree dog. And she's going hunting perfectly fine. She's doing a great job, but she's natural. What they are as babies, in my opinion, when they first start, that's what you're going to reproduce.
Yeah.
I
understand that.
That's my opinion. An old man, a guy locally told me, he said, you know what makes a good old dog? And I said, what's that? He said, a good young dog. If you want to know what makes a good old dog, it's a good young dog, and he's 100% right.
Yeah.
And I've that's always went over my mind. You just always got to think about that. And you can drag that young dog around night after night after night, thinking it's going to make it. Sometimes you just got to realize it. It just ain't got it.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. And start all back over. And it's heartbreaking sometimes to do that. You just get to a place you're like, man, I have put all this time in this dog, and he just ain't going to make it. And it hurts sometimes. It really does. But you just got to make that decision. You got to say, okay, it's time to start back over. You just got to do it, and it's got to be. It will be a coon hunter. You gotta focus on your coon dogs. You gotta put the time into them. You cannot. They can't make it sitting in a kennel. It takes a lot of work. You gotta focus on what you want. What you want to be successful with. That's like squirrel dogs. I have went through several squirrel dogs in the past 3 and 4 years. I have spent a lot of money. I have tried multiple ones out of multiple main top tier dogs, and I can't train a squirrel dog. I can't do it. I have tried. Kevin Rose, a guy you had on a podcast a few months ago.
Yep.
Oh, Kevin is about the best squirrel dog, man. He can train one as good as anybody. He can do it. He's got the time. He has the time to be able to take that young dog out and put him in the woods and get it on squirrels. And I struggle with that because of the way I work. I don't get off work till 5:00, and then this time of year, the perfect time to squirrel hunt. You just can't do it. You can't make a squirrel dog on Saturdays. It just is impossible to just hunt one day a week and make a squirrel dog.
Yeah.
And that same equation falls on a coon dog. You cannot make a coon dog hunting that dog one day a week. You might have a dog that'll tree a squirrel, and you might have a dog that'll tree a coon, but it takes time. It takes day after day after day, and you got to put the work in it. And you gotta strive to get it there. You gotta grind it because that's just like Kevin. When we talk quite a bit, not every pup that he starts finishes. Not every one of them. So it's a lot of work and process and time. So I think that with the leopard breed, I think if everybody would, you gotta hunt. You gotta put them in the woods, and you gotta be dedicated. And I think it's what we need right now in the breed. We need a lot of hunters. We need guys that'll hunt and put the time in these dogs. And let's put it like this: we need to get back to the way it used to be. Just like guys. These guys that was working these dogs and putting the time into them, and I think that's where we need to get today. Find your go back to your first love. make it be like you can't wait to get off work and get done eating supper and go take that dog to the woods. Get back the way it was when you first started that first dog that you ever had. You couldn't wait to get that dog turned loose, and that's where we need to get at today. We need to be in that same mindset that I want to achieve this goal with this next generation, so that our breed, we can't just sit back and say, well, Papa was a good one, Mama was a good one, but what about the son out of him, the daughter out of him, and then the granddaughter or the grandson? We need to keep, we got to keep stacking them generations of coon dogs, because if we just keep relying on what's behind them and building, eventually what's going to happen is you're going to have a watered up breed.
Yeah.
And you know, me and you talked about that the other day. You can't live in the past. The past is good, but you know, it's always come to my mind, and I was trying not to get too biblical here, but when the children of Israel crossed the Red Sea, you know, they left Egypt behind them.
Yep. And
that's the way we got to look at it. When we just got to keep moving forward. You got to keep moving forward, and you got to press forward. But all they done the whole time they was out there, they murmured and complained. They kept dwelling on they dwelled on the past. You know, they dwelled on the past, and we can't dwell on the past. We gotta work to the future. And you know, in my mind, I'm done sitting here thinking about the next cross. Crosses after that cross. What's going to work here or work there? That's the way my mind works. I try to not just stay in one little circle, you know, because if we do, we're just going to wind up being in the same place we always been. Just wandering in the wilderness. And I really wandering in the wilderness. I don't want to be like that. I want people to say, hey, these guys they're trying to figure something out. They're trying to move forward. And that's what I want to do. I want to better the breed. I know that a lot. My hat's off. We talk about the history on the leopards, and I think about all the dogs in the past. You know, me and you're both intrigued by that. I can sit down and read these articles and read these magazines in yearbooks over and over, and I think of these old guys when they was getting these dogs and putting all these bloodlines and crossing this one with this one and getting the ground level established for what we have today. And, you know, I think they would be proud of what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
I really do believe that. I think they would be proud of that. And you know, my hat's off to some of the older guys. You know, Perry Lambert, he had messaged me a while back. I think it was right after Leopard Days. I think it was in a group text, but he was a message. The group was put it like that. That's not me directly, but said he was proud of the younger generation, what we're trying to do.
Yeah,
and that really meant a lot to me.
For sure,
it really did. And I hope that we can make them proud.
I agree. I really hope we can too.
I hope we can. I'm trying, and I know we all are. And I'm proud. You know, I'm thankful for you for what you're doing for us. Just, you know, you come out, you took pictures, and we got hopefully some decent videos and what you've done. You know, you put a lot of time into it, and you got a desire for what you're doing, and you. And I told you this. I said, boy, you can sure take a pretty picture. And you can. You do great work.
I appreciate it.
And I appreciate you, Ben, and I thank you for everything you've done for us. It was very special, and it was, man. And I hope our friendship. I felt like me and you got to talk a few times in the past, but I feel like our friendship we kicked her off right this weekend.
I would 100% agree with that. Like I said, we've talked several times.
Yeah.
But the last weekend we spent a lot of time together and talked, and heck, we both had a long drive, so we talked on the way there and on the way back, just fighting boredom.
Oh yeah, and that, I mean, that's just awesome. You know that you can do that. You know, and we can leave this like this trip we just left. We didn't have to be mad at each other. You know, we left this trip not having to be no conflict. You know, wasn't nobody was boiled up, nobody was mad.
Yeah.
It was just a great time. I think you even said I talked in my sleep a little bit.
You did. You were there saying I'm hunting or something. I was laughing.
Oh Lord, I've laughed about that. I told my buddy about that today at work. I got a big kick out of that, but I do that sometimes. I'll catch myself just mumbling, and I'm like, Lord, I hope I didn't say nothing bad about nobody or anything like. Because you don't know you're innocent, and you might, you know, when you're asleep.
Yep.
But you know what? I really did enjoy it, and it was a great time. And I'll encourage. Let's put it like this: if this is for the audience, if you are it don't matter if you hunt hounds or curs, time, you know, it really slips by really quickly. You know,
Ooh, yeah.
it really does. I mean, it's went by fast. It's went by fast, and I want to take advantage of every moment of it. I want to live for it because, hey, there's going to come a time, you know, that we're not going to be able to do it. Don't wait. Do it. Make that trip. Make that drive. Go hunt with that guy. Or if it's a dog you want to see, go hunt with. Just jump in the truck and go. And if it's a dog you want to breed to, go breed to it. Don't sit back and say, "Well, I wished I'd done this. I wished I'd done that." Well, when they're gone, it's too late.
Yeah.
Make the best of it, and always take a kid. If you got a young kid that wants to go hunt, yeah, it might not be the most pleasant thing sometimes, but hey, take them, teach them right from wrong, because you know you're influencing them. And I promise you, if I didn't forget about coon hunting at a young age of my grandfather, just think about the kids that you're taking. They're not going to forget their experiences. So think about it like this: when them kids are out there, they might be making a lot of noise. They might be breaking sticks. They might be blowing coon squallers. They might be throwing rocks. Just throw rocks, break sticks, and just make the best of it because they're having a time of their life.
Exactly.
And if they're big enough to be able to harvest one, let them harvest it. You know, just make some good decisions because they are the future of this breed, or they're the future of all breeds. You know, just the coon hunting sport in general.
Yep.
And but like I said, it's been a great time. And are there anything else you want to talk about tonight?
Jason, it's almost like you're a preacher.
Well, I'm sorry. I am.
There's nothing to be sorry about.
Well, I've been. I'll tell you what. When I was a young kid, my mom and dad, they've got some pictures of me when I was like 3 years old. I was standing on a little stool, and I would stand up on there and preach at 3 and 4 years old. They had pictures of me. Well, when I was growing up, I was into westerns. I loved westerns. I had horses too when I was a kid. I went to this. I told this one guy, I said, "I'm going to be a cowboy preacher." And I told him, I said, "I'm going to have my horse take up the offering." And I can remember that as a kid, you know. And as time went on, and my dad, he's a pastor. He pastors a Church of God, and I was around church my whole entire life. And you know, it was something. I had a call at 14 years old. You know, you know when you're supposed to do something and you're not. And, you know, I had to call being a minister, and I ran from it. I ran for a long time. And I just didn't think I was good enough. Didn't think I'd ever be good enough to be able to do something like that. And, about 6 years ago, and we was at a church, and there was this minister. He was a preacher, and he didn't know me. I never had met the man before in my life. He called me up front, and he spoke to me, and he told me. He said, "You had a call upon your life since you was 14 years old," and he said, he said, "It's time for you to answer the call."
Mm.
And that night, that night when I answered, when I did, I fully committed, and it was a humbling moment in my life. And you know, I don't take it for granted, because if it hadn't been for God having His hand upon my life through all of these years, and the stuff that I've been through, and fooling with these dogs, driving home at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, barely can keep my eyes open, and God has had His hand upon me. And I remember one night I was working. I was working in Inez. I was working in Kentucky, Inez, Kentucky, and I was sitting at this red light, and the light had turned green, and I was getting ready to pull out. And when I was getting ready to pull out, there was this vehicle come by me at least going 100 miles an hour. It was just like something stopped me right in my tracks. I mean, I hit my brakes before I'd even hit the gas. If I'd hit the gas at that moment, I would not be here today.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe it was the hand of God protecting me.
Yeah.
And the hand of God is, look at the traveling that you do, and the traveling that I do. And most of the time we're by ourselves.
Yeah.
And I thank Him every day, or when I pull in the driveway, when I come back from these trips, for God to have, keeping His hand upon me and protecting me along the way. But, when I entered that call, I went in and started studying and reading the Bible, and just letting the Lord work through me. And I told God, I said, I don't want to be like someone else. I want to be me.
Mm-hmm.
And just give me what you'd have me speak and talk to people. And I've never met a stranger, and I'm thankful for that. I mean, when I was a kid, when they'd come and look for me, I was sitting on the stool. Not the stool, but the benches at Walmart or somewhere. And I was talking with some old man, just sitting there talking and making friends with someone I didn't even know.
Yeah.
And that's just been me. And I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful for the opportunities that I've had, and I'm not going to lie to you. I'm just going to tell you the truth. It's just like the competition hunt. If it comes to me having to get an argument with someone, I just don't want no part of it. I mean, I don't want the old man, the old Jason King, to come creeping back in. I want to keep the old man out, because that's the way sin is. It just creeps back up in you, and then you got to be like a sheep killing dog, and you got to crawl back and say, Lord, forgive me for, all this. And I showed my tail, and I shouldn't have acted like that. But, we're all subject to fall.
For sure.
Just like Peter, old Peter, in the Bible, when Jesus said, "You're going to deny me 3 times before the cock even crows," and he said, "Lord, I'll never do that." And Peter was with Jesus. He seen miracle after miracle. And he seen the blind healed to see, the lame to walk, and everything. And then he denied Christ. You think of a man that walked with Christ and seen all that, do you think you're not going to stumble and fall?
For sure.
We are, but by grace, by the grace of God. His grace is sufficient for every need in my life and your life. And the most important thing that we can remember in this walk that we have here on this earth is to keep God first because we can't do nothing without him. And if we sin and we mess up, ask him for forgiveness. Just ask him for forgiveness. I mean, how hard is that? Just to say, Lord, I'm sorry. Help me to do better, and just try to do better every day. And that goes for everybody. We're nothing without him. I mean, I am nothing. I'm the least among millions. You know what I mean? I am nothing, but with him, I am everything. When I'm weak and I can't go on, I've learned this right here, Ben, is just feel like like I might be at the end of the rope and I can't even hold on no more. Just tie another knot in that rope and keep a holding on.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep a holding on, because I'm telling you, he's going to help you in this world right now that we're living in today, just like with your kids and stuff. And, just teach them about Jesus, because at the end, we have these dogs, we have our life, we have sports, we have, this world is crazy. We got all of this technology and everything today, but if we can teach our kids and our family about Jesus, he is the most important thing. He is our most important thing in this world, because when we leave this world, it doesn't matter how many world champions you have. It doesn't matter how many night champions. It doesn't matter how many titles you have on your dog. The most important thing is when you leave this world, you know where you're going. Just know where you're going. If you're going to spend heaven, be in heaven or in hell. And I know one thing, I want to spend mine in heaven.
Absolutely.
That's the greatest retirement plan. That's the greatest retirement plan, ain't it?
Yeah.
I mean, because silver and gold will pass away. But, that right there is that's the place I want to stay. I want to make it. I want to make it to heaven. And that's my goal. And, and I appreciate this opportunity. And I thank you for everything you've done for us in the coon hunting world. And I'm thankful for all the videos and, the time that you sacrifice doing the podcast and stuff. Because, you do that out of love and a passion. And your work, it shows. And I wanted to say I appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate it, Jason. I really do appreciate you coming on. I know we had a great time at Coon Camp, and I know we're all looking forward to it again. And but like you said, none of that all matters in the grand scheme of things. So,
no.
But while we're here on Earth, we might as well have some fun, as long as it's not going against what God has, designed and told us to do. So, and I think coon hunting's pretty safe on the list of things we can do. So we might as well go cut some dogs loose.
That's right. Preacher friend of mine told me this. He said, boy, I'm sure glad he made a hound.
The only thing I can think of that God might have a problem with is old coon hunters tend to have a little bit of trouble with the truth.
That's it, ain't it? That's the truth. Well, thank God for grace and repentance, ain't it?
Yep.
Oh, Lord.
So,
but I appreciate it, man.
Yep. Well, thank you very much, Jason.
All right, thank you, sir.
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Tree Talking Media. And until next time, keep them talking in the timber.